One. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Music Meltdown for the Album of the Year series, 1988 time. Let's just get right into this, get to the meat and potatoes of it. 88, bit of a strange year, but here we go. My honorable mentions, I have Surfer Rosa by the Pixies just missing out. As well, I have probably my pick for his second most underrated of this decade. Got Love Sexy by Prince missing out. And my last honorable mention, I'm going with Green by REM. So REM, not quite going to make it in here, although I'm pretty sure every single REM record from the 80s would make at least my top 20 in every year in the 80s. So, but my honorable mentions here, number 5 for me, I've got Bluebell Knoll by the Cockatoo Twins. Really just brilliant stuff. I love Elizabeth Fraser's voice. It's very dreamy, very ethereal, just really pastoral music. Just really gorgeous. Lyrics, couldn't give a shit. They just sound amazing. So loved a lot. Number 4, this is a weird one. I got a hip hop release, potentially my favorite hip hop album in general right now. Got Straight Outta Compton by NWA. I think the production work is just sensational. The flows are killer. All the songs on here are just so much fun. I honestly might like 80s hip hop more than some of the other stuff, like this late period of 80s hip hop, because you got like the really cool kind of harder material, but then you also have sort of the blossomings of this sort of peaceful style that you'd get later on with like De La Soul and stuff. I think this album is great though. Number 3, going Daydream Nation by Sonic Youth. I keep it up with the Sonic Youth streak. I love this record. I think that it is so much fun. The only issue I have with it in comparison to other Sonic Youth stuff is that it maybe runs just like ever so slightly long. I don't think it necessarily needed to be a double, although the good stuff on it is still just so good. You still get a lot of the frantic energy, but it's a bit more contained, a bit more controlled in comparison to other Sonic Youth stuff before this point. And while they would never become like a traditional band, this is probably the closest they were up to this point in their career. But I still love it a lot. My runner-up, though, this is my winner for so long until I did a certain discography. It's going to be Spirit of Eden by Talk Talk. One of the best sort of post-rock records ever. It's incredibly atmospheric, very jazzy in its style. I think when Mark Hollis comes in here, he sounds excellent. And really just all of the songs on here just culminate together in a really brilliant, beautiful listen. But my winner is going to be by a band that has been an honorable mention for me twice. It's going to be Confessions of a Pop Group by the Style Council, an album that has just utterly knocked me off my feet. I have heard it at least 8 times since I first heard it earlier this year. And I love it so much. I think that it's a brilliantly crafted pop album. It's an hour long, but you really don't feel it because it's got so many different eclectic influences. It's pop, it's soulful, it's rocking, it's really funky at points. Paul Weller brings it all together. I think that the band themselves are just sensational. The synth work is divine. And it's even like slightly progressive at certain points on here. I think it really just runs the gambit of basically everything that you could want within a pop record. It is just aces front to back for me. I love it a lot. My number 1, Confessions of a Pop Group by the Style Council.
Nice. Is that the album that mentions my name? Do you remember that?
I
We
don't
talked
think
about it in Discord.
intentionally it does. I don't think intentionally it does.
Yeah, yeah,
That's the best I can say.
yeah, yep. Um, yeah, trying to think of honorable mentions. I'm gonna mention which I didn't remember to mention in '86, but I really like Slayer. South of Heaven is the album in '88, but just a quick shout out to '86 Rain in Blood. It's a great album too, very like the heaviest albums that would be on my radar on the '80s, and just yeah, cool. And There's some albums that I should have probably re-listened to how much I like them still, but um, there's like Pixies, Rosa that I like, and um, then like not the coolest album, but if you I stuff I listened as in my childhood, some of these glam metal, Striper, Beast, and In God We Trust, and so on. But yeah, I didn't really have a bunch of honorable mentions this time, but number 5, it's an album I know you know it too. Operation Mindcrime by Queensryche. I at least I assume you listened to when Clay showed it. Put it on. Um, climbing the charts game we are doing with Adrian, but yeah, it's just a cool sort of rock metal type of album from the 80s, and love a lot of these songs, and it's maybe slightly too long, maybe it's almost an hour, but and well, it's a very long single album, because I think it was just a single album as an LP format. But yeah, and maybe my favorite song is the Closure Eyes of a Stranger. Still, like Jeff Tate as a vocalist was on point, in my opinion, still on his prime during this album, and yeah, it's a cool listen. And my number 4, um, don't know, have you listened to this, but is Tracy Chapman uh, debut album, and yeah, sort of this folky singer songwriter album. Still has very it's has its pop moments too, but talking about the revolution, love a lot. Fast Car, the more well-known songs here. Just a lot of it has a great mood to it. You can just 36 minutes, and goes on fast, and you just can enjoy it a lot. And I think it's a lot of acoustic songs, and I don't think I've done a lot of acoustic music. Well, it's not completely acoustic, I guess, but I haven't done this sort of folk albums in the 80s, at least. But yeah, I do love her vocals a lot. Then I can't pick the Smiths, but I guess I'm picking Morrissey with Viva Hate, his first solo album, which I think is great too. Has a bunch of songs I love, and just some very cool guitar moments still in, even without Johnny Marr's presence, are on this album, like the first song, and I Don't Mind If You Forget Me is just very poppy and such a great chorus, and Every Day Is Like Sunday is fabulous, and Sweat Ahead, and yeah, lots of Late Night Morning Street, bunch of great um, Jangle Pop stuff, and sort of just pop, I guess. I don't know, but yeah, I do love his voice a lot, and that's why he's on my list. Then we're going back to metal with Metallica, Justice for All, and yeah, I do love this a lot. It's 65 minutes, so it's definitely a long album. 9 songs, and There's like 2 songs that are almost 10 minutes. But I do love pretty much most of these songs, and it's very heavy. It's the album that's doesn't maybe sound the best, but I do still think the guitar sounds are great, while it does miss quite a bit of bass. And yeah, it's Metallica going forward in their prog metal style, and yeah, and just quick shout out to Closure, Dyer's Eve, which have been of these songs. If I'm bicycling somewhere or need a boost, I just put out on that song and I'm going like, it's so fast and heavy. But my number one, I know you like this one too. It's a metal album too. It's Seventh Son of a Seventh Son by Iron Maiden. And again, Iron Maiden following that, having that prog metal and heavy metal together, and just yeah, very has those technical moments, and it's still fun. It's kind of fantasy elements maybe, and it's a concept album, I guess, and it's heavy and but still so melodic, and something like The Evil That Men Do and Only the Good Die Young. And so these prog moments are great too, like the title song and Moonchild and Infinite Dreams. And yeah, I love Bruce Dickinson. Glad that they finally made my list. And now they won the whole year. So yeah, that's my number one of 1988.
Nice, nice. That is actually my favorite Maiden record. So nice.
Yeah,
It's
same.
only 4 stars,
Yeah.
so I didn't bring it up. But yeah, it'd probably make like my top 15 this year for sure. So that's cool. Also, hey, we finally got the medal. We finally got the medal.
Yep. Big time.
Oh yeah. That being said, I really hope that you enjoyed this discussion. 1988, bit of a weirder year in the 80s. It kind of like falls in between the cracks, I think, because it doesn't really have like a true, like for sure classic record, I would say, but it's still a pretty good year. I like a lot.
Yeah. Um, I think you mentioned a hip hop album, and I think you're starting to get more of like hip hop albums even on 88. I think,
Yeah.
but I wasn't sure you're gonna pick Public Enemy or NWA. Those are the big
And then
ones, I guess.
all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking at this and I'm not seeing like there's not like one record that's pretty obviously like the best for this year. Is kind of what I'm seeing. Maybe like I don't know, and Justice for All is probably a big one, but I don't know. I'm not seeing like a real crazy for sure. This is the best album of this year. This doesn't quite
I
have.
had I had to check what won the album of the year Grammy, but it was Fate by George Michael, which they have a weird schedule, so
All
there
right,
wasn't even a 88 winner,
all right,
really.
all right. That being said, I hope that you all enjoyed this and you have a good time.